Welcome back to The Truth with Trinity, and I am your host, Trinity. And if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I'd like to send you a warm welcome. Here I talk about issues that happen within the Black community, hopefully for some resolution or at least some food for thought to go about your daily way. And without further ado, I'd like to jump into this episode's topic, which is the Black woman must give the Black man something to respect. So as Black women, we notice there's a problem within our community with the increase in violence of our Black men upon Black women. A lot of our Black men are seeing us nothing more than sexual objects, and we're asking for more respect. But as Black women, as the Black man must cultivate and educate and prepare himself for rulership and to be able to lead and guide his women and children and communities, the Black woman must refine and cultivate herself. So the two go hand in hand. And as I've said once before, there's no use of having a group of refined and educated and sharp thinking Black male without its counterpart being refined and educated as well, because the domino effect will just keep going on within the Black community. So the Black woman must work on herself. And let's get right back onto the topic of why the Black woman must give the Black man something to respect. So it's not enough as Black women that we just yell out that we're looking for respect from Black men. But how can we not say it but show with our actions that we are requiring respect from the Black man and that he has something to respect? This message is for all my Black women, especially the younger generation. We live in a world where it may seem as if no matter what we do as Black women, no matter how positive we strive to be, that we are still classified or lumped together into one group. And those are usually negative connotations, fast, loose, promiscuous and things of that nature. Also, it may seem as though the girl who juggles 2 to 4 men never gets played. Okay, so that's a thing, popular, I think, around in America, but definitely within our race of people. The girl that was faithful, the girl that was loyal, she's getting played, but the girl that juggles around 2 to 4 men, she doesn't get played. At least it looks like from the outside she doesn't, because she hasn't given her heart to one man. So a man can't mislead her to play her like that because she's got other two and 4 men. Okay. And that young Black man seem to only chase after women who have many options. Okay, because it does seem like that, right? The girl that's faithful and loyal, she's somewhere in the dark, and the girl that's juggling all the men are, he seems to be chasing after her. And although he says he wants a loyal woman, treats or misuses the loyal woman due to the young Black male lacking in skill and manhood training. Okay, so as Black women, we cannot look at a lot of our mentally damaged Black men and break this chain and become broken ourselves. Okay, so we can't look at the fact that he's been trained and he hasn't been disciplined to understand his role in being committed and mentally being stable for one woman. Okay, even despite what he does outside the home, he has not been taught how to be committed and stay his course. But as Black women, though, we can't follow down that road. We need some pioneers that are going to step up. We need Black women that are going to step up and still have respect for themselves. Okay, and we need to encourage more Black men to have respect as well for themselves and for other Black women. But I'd like to discuss with you the importance and in the role that you play as a young Black woman in cultivating and creating more Black people, okay? So your mind must be together, your soul must be together as a young Black woman, because it is your job to produce more Black boys and girls, more Black seeds for the Black man. And I will come out with a podcast, the episode that it encourages black men not to mess with the black woman's mind, and the consequences, and why it's not wise to do so for a black man in his position. But let me continue. As a lady, so as a young lady, your first goal is to hold on to your virginity as long as possible. The ultimate goal is marriage, okay? So when you're young, the goal is not to sleep with as many men, because there are going to be a lot of men that find you physically attractive, sexually attractive, but your goal is at that young, ripe age, especially after you've educated yourself or done what you're going to do, to work on yourself, is for marriage. It's not to spread yourself around, because this is another way that we're going to, show the black man that we have something for him to respect, that he doesn't see us out in every man's face. Okay, men are not attracted, no matter what race they are. They're not attracted to women. They're not attracted to women that they find in every man's face. Okay, the reasoning behind this. Okay. So this is the reason why your goal should be marriage, okay? Number one, it assures that you haven't any STDs, okay? So you want a man to be able to respect the fact that, you don't have any STDs, okay? And you know that because you've been keeping your body intact. Your womb is fresh, okay? And this is basically, you don't have any children, you've been working on yourself, and, your womb is fresh, okay? So this is something that gives the black man something to respect, okay? That your body is still intact. Your virginity, your hymen, you are still intact. You haven't been passing it around to all sorts of men. So these are qualities that will give the black man something to respect, okay? Number 4, you are able to negotiate higher terms with better suited men, okay? So there's nothing wrong with learning from your mistake, and the green light has went off. You've had a couple kids, you're out here and you're saying, hey, I want to make a change. That's all fine and dandy, okay? And you still have value as a woman as well. But the key is for our young black women to notice this and have the green light go off earlier. So this green light needs to be going off when they're 12 years old, when they're 14 years old, when they're 16 and 18 and 20 years old. Like, hey, I'm holding on to my virginity. I don't care what I see on TV. I don't care what I see other people do. I know that I want to have respect for myself, and I also want the black man to have respect for me. Okay, because the black man is having a difficult time respecting the black woman, partially because of, like I said, his lack of education. Okay, he hasn't had the manhood training to understand his position and his role. Okay, and the other half is the black woman has lost her consciousness and lost self-respect for herself. And when that happens, it's hard for any man, okay, to have respect for their women if they've lost respect for themselves. Let me continue. It saves you from being mentally damaged. Okay, so when you hold on to your virginity, see, a lot of older women are making the mistake of not telling the younger girls, yeah, you can have sex with this man. He doesn't act right. And you continue to have sex with another man and another man and another man. But the mental damage that it causes, aka bitterness, because what happens is when, you give yourself to a guy, you imagine the first time that, things are going to be wonderful. And things don't usually work out, especially if this is not a man that's going to marry you, and you keep going to the next man, but they're leaving marks on you. Not only are they leaving marks and imprints on your body and your genitalia, but they're also leaving imprints on your soul. So every guy that you come across, you already have a preconceived notion that they may play you, they may treat you like the other guys did, because you keep giving yourself to other guys. And one thing that's going to cause more black men to have respect for black women is if they have sex with less sexual partners, so they won't be so mentally damaged from the other men that they have had in the past. Because that's one of the perks of not giving yourself to a lot of men in general, is that you have a better outlook on a man. That's one of the perks, okay? So now one may ask, how does this have anything to do with black women having a role to play in killing off black people? Okay, because I struggled at first whether to name this, what the black woman's role was in destroying, the black race, and also, the black woman giving the black man something to respect. But I wanted to go over points 1 through 5, but not in chronological order. So I went over 1 through 5 with the points I just made, but I'm going to go into detail a little bit of, why black women have to give the black man something to respect, and how, hand in hand, how we help to destroy, the black race of people through us being with so many men and putting ourselves out there, in ways that are not ladylike. Number one, as a young lady, you want to maintain your virginity and body intact so that your body can develop into a mature woman. Having children too early can permanently stunt puberty. A lot of women don't know that medically. Yeah, you can survive having a baby at 13 or 14 years old, but it can prematurely stunt your puberty, and so the height that you would have grown, the silhouette, body frame that you would have had will be stunted because you're giving nutrients to the child. Not only that, but it's killing off our black race with young black women having children so early, because your mindset is also not developed. So we talked about the physical part, but your mindset is not developed. Let's face it, at 14 and 15 years old, you're wanting to go to your first concert. You're wanting to go to your first movie. You're wanting to go to your first party. At 18, you want to travel and, hopefully, go to college or whatnot. And so this is an argument here. That's not to say that it can't be done, okay? So we know doctors, and we know that special story where, a young teenage mom has graduated, but the reality is not being set forth of how difficult and how hard and how stressful and how many years that puts the black woman and man back in poverty, so much so because she's struggling to raise most likely the child by herself, and just the stress and a lot of things that go on that affects the child. And so these are next generations of children that are just being damaged by us not having the discipline and giving the black man something to respect, and having enough respect for ourselves as black women to say, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, my body can perform these sexual acts, but I'm not grown enough. I'm not mature enough to be able to financially support, give my child a house, not just an apartment, not just Section A. I don't have any maturity and wisdom because I have lived long enough to be able to teach my child. I'm not out there trying to club for the first time. I'm already older enough, and I've already experienced these things for ourselves, and that will help us as black people. Number two, sleeping around can open your body up to STDs that even condoms can't cover, thus forth spreading the infection onto other men. That's a lot that's going on too. As black women, because we have so many discharges on a weekly basis with our cycles and things of that nature, that's why they say black women, not black women, but women, period. So it doesn't matter what color you are. But, I'm talking to the black woman out there. That's why they say that women in general can, kind of be asymptomatic until the situation gets so much worse that, green discharge and everything, because it's been there for like months and months and months. And by that time you spread the infection to so many men, and so that's another thing that's destroying our race of people too. And that causes the black man to have less respect for us. If he can't trust the woman that he's laying with, if you are going to be out there, okay, it's best to be with your husband. But if you're, and this goes for married women too, you're being trusted on a level by a man, and you're out there, spreading yourself, and contracting STDs from, performing physical acts with different random men. This is causing less respect from our men, okay, regardless of what, we claim that they do as women. Like I said, this is causing less respect, and it's also helping to kill off our race as well. Number three, when you are still a virgin, or even if you aren't one anymore, can you recall back to when you had crushes on boys or young men simply based off of your preconceived notions on what you thought a guy might be like, such as a simple kiss, a hug, holding hands? Until as women we started dealing with men on a physical level is when we grew to be disappointed after realizing that it takes much more than just words to prove a guy is being serious with you. And that kind of goes back into what I was saying. That's one of the benefits of not passing yourself around and getting too familiar with men. It's best to be familiar with the men that you're going to marry, because when you're still a virgin, you think, oh, that guy is cute, his smile, he's going to hold my hand, he's going to walk me through a park, all these preconceived notions that you have when you're still a virgin, right? Until reality sets in and you start having sex with guys. Afterwards, he might not answer his phone, he might not give you the attention that you thought, and after time, like I said, you grow to try to one up men by sleeping with multiple men. And then and as a woman, the more men we sleep with, we may feel the most guarded, when indeed we have become the most vulnerable. So like I said, you try to fill a void. You try to fill a void once you gave yourself to that guy physically, he doesn't answer the phone. And then you go to the next guy because you're waiting for him to call you back in a couple weeks. So then you sleep with another guy in the meanwhile. Okay, so we might feel like we're more guarded and protected, calling it the player mode, I believe, okay, or the promiscuous route, but actually we're more vulnerable, okay? The less men a woman has slept with, many times the less mentally damaged she is, because like I said before, every time that you let a guy inside you, you're letting their spirit and everything else, inside. And then let's face it, these situations don't end pretty a lot of the times. Someone ends up getting their feelings hurt, someone's caught in their emotions, and a lot of times this is just causing mentally damaged, black women to be mentally damaged. Okay, and it's causing less black men to respect us, because if they have a overabundance of women that they can just sleep with, they know in their community there's so many women just willing to open up their legs for nothing, no commitment, no relationship, no marriage. That's causing more black men just to look at us like sexual objects, while we're complaining about, oh, black men aren't respecting us, they aren't caring about us. Well, one thing that lowers a woman's value quicker than anything, if you have not been taught, young black woman, is to open up your legs to a man who does not care about you, who has not proven himself to you. If he knows that you are an easy conquest, if he knows that he can see your breast very easily through a fishnet shirt, he has nothing to work hard for. It's just something, I don't know what it is. It's in the nature of a man to feel like, he wants, number one, he wants something that no one else can have. This is just how men are. They want something shiny that they feel like no other man can possess. They've got the best woman in their mind, okay? And they can't feel that way if you're, with your body exposed. They can't do it, okay? Number two, they like to work hard. They want to feel like they had to work or do something special to be able to see your naked body. But if you have your naked body posted on Facebook, Instagram, and you're outside walking around, unclothed, and they're going to feel like there was nothing to work hard for. And I think as black women, we are complaining about that. This is not all black women, but we're saying, why don't the black man have any respect for us? Why won't he work to protect us when we need to give him something to protect? Okay, so the two go hand in hand. Okay, sleeping with one guy who isn't your husband can leave you feeling empty, okay? So sleeping with a guy who is not your husband can leave you feeling empty. And a lot of times we play this off as women like we don't feel empty. So many times you seek a replacement one after another. So after this guy, you seek another replacement. You just keep going. I know what I'm about to say is quite unpopular, but men who seek a wife seek to be able to place his trust within a woman above all others. Okay, so things are a little different between men and women, how women and men view things. And as a woman, if you have slept with so many men, it becomes hard to know who is telling the truth. So the game becomes you, okay? And then you may end up playing the wrong man. Okay, so once you're down this road of playing this man, sleeping with this man, not answering the phone for this man because he didn't answer the last time, so you're not answering this time, and you get into this mindset, you become the game. And then you may end up playing the wrong man. But what we need are more black women who are willing to be pioneers, to pioneer being the first evolution of this next generation of black women, who will say no to promiscuity, no to continue to ruin good black men, because we talk about how often black men hurt black women. But what about the black women who have damaged good black men? And how it damages the black race. Because once a man sees a black woman in the light of promiscuity, he loses all faith and respect for not only her, but may lose respect for all women, period. Leading us down a path of more black men who will lack regard for the black woman. Sleeping with many men turns off your emotional ability to be able to love an available man and potential children. That's another thing. That's the heart of a prostitute. That's how prostitution, women, regardless of race, but that's how prostitution occurs with women. Like, how can they sleep with so many men and not get, their heart broken or not get their feelings attached? Because once you keep having sex over and over and over and over again, okay, that detaches you emotionally. And that's something that's not just a flick of a switch. That if you meet a good man, that you're able to have all these emotions and fall in love. Young black woman, it does not work like that. Okay, and a lot of us call ourselves trying to be like men nowadays. We might have had a man cheat on us or something, and we say, well, we're going to have sex with multiple men like they do. How do they have sex with so many women and not have any attachment to them? So as black women, we've definitely been trying to do it. Okay, I mean, all races of women have their infidelity within them, but as the black woman, we have it so heavily in our communities. Okay, 85% of the black women are single mothers, or 75 to 85%, versus the white woman, she's 25 to 35% a single mother. What does that tell you? The problem with the black woman, like I said, we keep trying to sleep with so many men, okay, just so we can say, hey, I slept with a man and didn't have any emotional connection. But the reality is you have to spend your whole situation sexually with that guy, trying to keep your emotions down, because that's not the true nature of a woman. So you're trying to play yourself, trying to lie to yourself that you didn't have any emotions. And those are your God-given emotions as a woman to be able to fall for a man. And this is true, though. We need more black men who are not going to play with the emotions of black women once he is convinced some black women that he wants to be with her. And that's where, my episode will come in, why the black man should not play with the black woman's mind. But also, you want to be able to have availability, like I said, emotionally for a man and potential children. Many times women spend wasted time trying to act like they were unfazed or unbothered or didn't catch any feelings during sex. Okay? And trying to mimic a man's behavior, yet being soft and emotional creatures is who we are. So that's who we are, and that's why, the black man needs to stop making fun or belittling black women for having emotions after having sex with you. That's who we are. We're emotional beings. We're supposed to be soft. We're supposed to be emotional creatures, and that's where the black man needs to be trained at. Like, he can't say that, black women are trying to be men, and, exploiting the feelings of black women. So like I said, the black man and black woman has that to work on. And let me continue. And it's what actually separates us from men. So us having feelings and things is what separates us from men, okay? Sleeping with more than one man at a time increases the risk of not knowing who your child's father is. It causes men to have hatred for women, okay? Because like I said, they put a certain amount of trust in us. And let's face it, before all this technology, before there was, labs and DNA tests, a man depended on a woman heavily, her being faithful. Why? Because that is how he was assured the woman gave birth to his child. So if he found out that she was unfaithful, it was like, pain upon death in medieval times. And even, in the, old school days, 100 years ago or so, definitely her put out the house because, he can't even assure that these children are his. Okay, and I think that instinct is kind of carried on now. I think that's why it's so much of a double standard. Not that I condone cheating or anything at all, but just as a woman, how we need to give the black man something to respect in us. Okay, and how when you sleep around with so many men, it's harder for you to know who the child's father is. You might sleep with a guy you may never see again. You may sleep with a guy off of a chat room or something, and you don't even know his real name. And then you're sleeping with one guy, but one guy has the good job, so you're trying to pin this baby on the man that you know. And it's destroying good men, and it's also causing men not to have respect for the black woman, and it's spreading on to even innocent black women once they've dealt with this type of woman. Okay, it causes some men not to be able to differentiate real women from whores. And I was just getting into that. Sometimes a man can recover from this type of situation. He's like, okay, not all women are bad, not all black women are bad, but not every man can. Okay, and it's time for us as black people to stop damaging each other. It can increase the risk of more violence from men within our communities. Okay, also increases your risk of raising a child or children alone. Okay, because we say that we want a black man to respect us, we want him to love us and everything like that. But like I said, once again, we have to give the black man something to respect. Look, it's been a pleasure speaking to you all. I love you all. I love all my sisters out there. Love all my brothers out there. If you'd like to get in contact with me, you can reach me at thetruthwithtrinity.com. If you felt this message and you're listening from YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to get a notification every time my new material comes out, you can hit the notification button. You can also listen to my podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. And always remember, if you can't tell the truth with anyone else, you can with Trinity. Till next time, take care.